Yeah, that makes
Okay,
sense.
so we'll do the countdown in the chat probably
Yeah, in the
then, I
chat.
guess.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yeah,
smart.
Okay.
Smart.
makes sense. All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Warmac Gaming, and here beside me is Super and Alexine. And ooh, we're getting a little feedback.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the audio open in my in my thing, but yeah. Again, we're absolutely thrilled here today to be bringing you a four-way race between one of my personal favorite categories of Plants vs Zombies, the all mini games category. A lot shorter than any percent, and a lot of very different, unique, and action-packed mini games that we have here beside you. Super May, I don't know if you guys wanted to jump in here, say a little bit about yourself, but I know I've been absolutely thrilled. I woke up like 5 times last night, sort of thinking about this, and just really excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah, same. I also woke up a lot last night being excited to do this. Mini games is definitely one of my favorite categories, so I'm excited to see what these runners do with it, especially with all the RNG they have to tackle.
Absolutely. I'm mostly have been running any percent recently, another category in this game, but mini games is also one of my personal favorites. There's a lot of variability, a lot of really tense moments as well, a few specific mini games that could provide for a very interesting viewing experience. So very excited to see that.
Absolutely. One of my very favorite things about mini games is that it really does have a little bit of something for everybody based on sort of your, speed run taste. We have completely RNG based mini games. We have sort of fast clicking and execution mini games. We have strategic mini games, and then sort of everything in between, and then some that are just a little bit more straightforward and fun. So, we'll get into it. We have 20 levels coming up in front of us, and so in just a moment here, we're going to count down the runners separately. It may take stream a little bit of time to get caught up, but we'll count down the runners now and get right into this race. Thank you all for being here, and again, very very excited to present this.
Great. Let's make sure our runners are ready. I think I saw Barry was doing some Zen gardening, very important. So let's get everyone ready, and then we'll get them started. It should be a fun time.
All right. And just waiting for the confirmations from everybody, making sure everyone's ready to go. Looks
so
like just...
no, go ahead. Warmac, you're good.
Yeah, just waiting for Barry here. All right.
All right.
All right. So we just counted everyone down. Again, the runners are going to need all the support that you could get in chat, all the hype, all the good luck, all the good lucks, and away we go. We did ask the runners to do all the mini games here in Plants vs Zombies in order, but one thing is that if we were running in a pure speedrunning context, normally the runners, of course, would try to get the RNG-based mini games out of the way first. So we're going to basically here, right off the top, jump into Zombotany. And that's one, again, probably somewhere in the middle in terms of, kind of skill versus RNG, but we asked everyone to do it in order just because every runner has sort of a different preference on exactly what order they like to do things in. And so just to kind of keep things a little bit more linear and straightforward as the first couple runners get right into the game here. Again, we asked them to do it all in order just sort of for a slightly better viewing experience, but keep in mind the runners may not be getting their top times today just because, again, normally we call it the RNG 5, the first 5 or so levels that most runners do. Again, very, very heavy RNG based, but I think that's one of the things that'll make this race so exciting that, again, someone could have a lead, but then again, someone gets a really great level and then someone doesn't. And again, it could switch anytime. And these are, again, I think they're all maybe in the top 10, give or take, for this category. So yeah, it's a very, very, very exciting. So May or Super, you guys want to tell everyone what's going on here in Zombotany? This looks strange. We have zombies shooting peas at us. What's going on here?
Fascinating. So the gimmick of Zombotany, for anyone who's familiar with Plants vs Zombies, the goal is obviously to prevent the zombies from reaching your house and defeating a certain number of waves of them. And normally they can't fire at you, but in Zombotany, they gain the abilities of various plants, which makes them a little bit stronger. And so what we're doing here, you may see how all the runners are letting at least one zombie go to the lawnmower. And you may think to yourself, well, why would they want to do that? Wouldn't that just slow things down? Don't you want to get rid of the zombies as fast as possible? And that's definitely correct. But the reason why we let zombies go to the mowers is several reasons. To build up sun, because building up sun is an extremely important aspect of speedrunning this game. And second, because eventually it might pay off, because when the zombie reaches the mower essentially acts as some free damage perhaps later on you might not otherwise be able to get.
Yeah, and you'll notice that it looks like the runners are kind of doing they're planting their sunflowers in sort of an inconsistent order, and you might think, well, like, do some of them not have the optimal strategies? But actually, that's one of the beauties of Plants vs. Zombies speedrunning, is that the runners are sort of constantly thinking on their feet, and we really consider this a decision-making speedrun. And by that we mean that the order and the rows and even the types of zombies that all the runners are going to get is non-deterministic, meaning every time through the game, you're going to get something a little bit different. There's going to be slightly different zombies and slightly different rows, and really the best runners tend to be able to adapt to that the best and make the best decisions based on the location of the zombies and what rows they're in. So again, although it looked like the runners were first. Yeah, Chaos reaches a huge wave first. He was maybe technically the underdog going into this, but it's again.
I actually wanted to point out too, Aaron, if you saw there, he lost one of his glooms. He was going really aggressive with that gloom, and he lost it. So that's why he only has one going into that big wave right now, and that's gonna really hurt his time trying to deal with all those zombies on the bottom half.
We've all been there. So you'll see that the runners do take advantage of the gloom shroom here. And the reason for that, I know it's a plant that I know for me in casual play, I sort of thought like, this isn't really that great. It doesn't have a lot of range. But the gloom shroom basically does, every time you see it do its little puff, it does the equivalent of 4 P's worth of damage, and it does it sort of in a 3 square by 3 square area. So potentially you could be hitting, 4, 5, 6 zombies at the same time and doing the equivalent of 4 pea shooters worth of zombies to all of them. And Plants vs. Zombies is really governed by a very important mechanic that we call the 50% rule. And what that is that the way in which the zombies come on screen is it's not an auto scroller, but rather if you do a random amount of hit points to the zombies between 35 and 50% of the current wave's hit points, then the next wave will appear on screen. And we'll go into a little bit more detail on that later on as we're sort of approaching the final wave here.
It looks like Barry just finished up, actually.
Oh yeah, Barry did.
Very good timing.
You're first out of the gate.
Everyone else is kind of neck and neck.
I was gonna. Yeah.
All right. So on to Walnut Bowling for Barry.
3 square area.
And so this is probably the best
4, 5,
indicator
6 zombies at the same time and doing the equivalent of 4.
The best indicator of what we call the 50% rule.
And
is anyone hearing echo?
I'm hearing echo, yeah.
I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. Yeah, I don't know if someone is that the way.
I'm gonna swap back over to someone else. I think maybe Barry has an echo.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So the 50% rule is, again, one of the primary mechanics in speedrunning this game. In fact, perhaps the only reason why we're able to do it. And it played a role in Zombotany, but it plays an even more obvious role here. And so essentially the 50% rule, what it does is each zombie comes in waves, or zombies come in waves, essentially. And in order to spawn the next wave, it's not a fixed time, but rather when you deal damage equivalent to between 35 and 50% of the hit points of that wave, or you wait between, I believe it's 25 and 31 seconds, then the next wave will spawn. And so obviously you want the first one to happen. So here, once you'll see the runners targeting the high hit point zombies like bucketheads because it'll activate the 50% rule faster, and then just not really caring about the remaining zombies in that wave.
That's why, kind of looking in the upper left at Aaron, you'll see, he was really focusing the walnuts on, what looked like the zombies in the back rather than, again, in casual play, you might throw them more towards the front. But some aspects of randomness in this minigame is, number one, the speed at which the walnuts roll is random, and the direction in which they bounce is a little bit random. If you, like, for example, if you roll it in the middle, there's a 50-50 chance it'll bounce up versus down. But if you do it in the top row or the bottom row, obviously it doesn't have anywhere else to go, so it'll bounce, it'll bounce up, down, or I guess up or down respectively. So walnut bowling we do consider part of the RNG5, just because again, all these aspects together, ranging from what types of walnuts you get, to the speed of the walnuts, to where they bounce, to what zombies appear in what row. Again, it's all random, but again, rather than this isn't really an RNG-based game or RNG-based category overall, because it's very important that the runners make the right decisions to put the right walnuts in each row and sort of be able to adapt based on, sort of what's happening in the game at that time.
I'm seeing
I did want to talk about. We got lack of explode.
Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin's getting the RNG luck. He's pretty known for that. He's also just a very skilled runner as well. But I was actually seeing kind of. Walnut bowling is a very high skill cap level, and you can kind of see that Chaos is definitely he's the underdog here, and you can see that with he's really having trouble keeping his number of walnuts up in his bench versus even Berry, they don't have many explodos, but they still have 1 or 2 walnuts on reserve just in case. And for me personally,
has a actually high risk of dying as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm a little worried for Chaos right now. I think they could probably be fine overall, but it's going to be kind of close for them. Just as someone who was really bad at this level for a really long time, that's something that's really hard to learn, is how to be able to manage your walnuts well.
You're not a true PvZ speedrunner until you've lost a PB pace or great pace run to this level, and I hold my hand up high when it comes to being a member of that club. Yeah, this is definitely one of the scarier ones. Again, even if a runner takes a death, luckily they don't need to go back to the very beginning of the run. Overall, they would just need to go back to the beginning of walnut bowling, which at this point would probably be a 2, 3, 4 minute mistake. Not necessarily run ending, but certainly something that the runners are looking to avoid.
Right. Oh. You'll see now that a lot of the runners are using their lawnmowers again. That's actually pretty risky in this one, but usually if you do it late enough, you won't have to worry about it. So we'll have to see how that turns out for them.
Yeah, the lawnmowers are a very interesting mechanic. They were designed as a safety mechanism by the game's developers.
Berry finishes it up.
Berry really, really, wow, he absolutely crushed this. I don't know what his time's looking like.
I'm starting to get a little worried for Calvin.
Yeah, Calvin's also looking a little scary right now.
I think he'll be okay, but it could be slow.
Yeah, Chaos still has those 3 lawnmowers, so it's gonna be slow, but I think he might be able to pull it out.
Yeah, he did a good job being fairly conservative in half, so I think he's going to be all right.
Calvin's scaring me a good bit here. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
This could be rough.
Yeah, I know. I'm like sitting here on the
end. An exploder or two.
But the idea with the
he got those explodos early, but now he's not getting any of them, and that's really what can heck you up in this one. Oh, Aaron got the beautiful exploder right there, though.
Yeah, arguably a level-saving exploder right there. No question about it. We'll see what it means for.
Oh god, he's just getting nothing here.
Oh, Aaron made it through. Okay. Berry is now in slot machine, which is also as Aaron is, which is just a very fun level. But I think we're gonna focus on. Yeah. It's really going to get close here for Calvin, especially. I think he's waiting for an explodo to pop up.
I do think Calvin's going to make it out.
Can he do it anyway?
I think he can. I think he has barely enough. Yeah, he's going to be fine.
Watch the last one. Oh, he didn't even. Okay, Calvin makes it out.
Unbelievable.
So on to slot machine here. This level is completely RNG, essentially, and you are trying to get 2,000 sun. You don't have to care about basically what the zombies do at all, except for them eating your sunflowers or killing you. So we're really just going to have to hope that the runners can get triple sunflower jackpots or triple sun jackpots, which give you 500 sun. And it looks like Berry already has 1,100, so Berry's kind of on the
got somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 sunflower jackpots. And Aaron got one sunflower jackpot, and Berry got 2 sun jackpots. And again, this is completely RNG, like we were saying. However, you may have noticed casually, it feels sometimes, and certainly it feels to the runners like, hey, like I don't get as many jackpots as I should. And believe it or not, you would not be wrong. The slots, even though there's only 5 different types of plants that can appear, the probability of getting a jackpot is statistically less than it should if all 5 of those were truly kind of random and independent. So for those of you that think that the game might be rigged, I got some bad news for you. It's rigged. It is rigged against the runner. We've gone through, and we haven't gotten the source code for this particular game, but we have figured out that basically there's about a 1 in 10 chance of getting any particular match, so like a match for a sunflower or a pea shooter or a snow pea, with a slight increase in the probability for the pea shooters themselves, and about a 1 in 100 chance for any single type of jackpot. So either for a sun jackpot, sunflower jackpot, walnut jackpot, anything like that. Again, it seems like with a slight increase in the probability for the pea shooters. So again, there's nothing really you can do to manipulate that other than just hope and appreciate the good RNG if it does come to them.
It looks like Aaron is getting quite a few sunflowers, which is going to definitely help him out in the long run for here.
Barry's momentum slowed down.
Calvin and Chaos are kind of just
doing
suffering.
Okay. Yeah, poor Calvin Chaos. Yeah. All right. Barry just got a triple sunflower jackpot. That means they definitely that will help them. I think they'll probably stop spinning. You typically like to stop spinning around like 2,000 minus 100 sun times the number of sunflowers you have, basically.
Oh, we got a diamond % going.
Ooh, diamond.
Flag diamond. Unfortunately, money will not come into effect at all in this run, but diamonds bring good luck. No question about that. So
yeah, we got another diamond over in Chaos' side.
You got to be almost certain that Berry again is going to be the first one done here. I really think that sunflower jackpot pulled him ahead. He was sort of about treading water. We will say with being able to spin, because each spin costs 25 sun as well. So that's why there's a little bit of a trade-off between at the end of the level continuing to spin versus just sort of waiting for the sun to drop naturally. So yep, getting really close here.
And Berry looks like they're going to finish out first again.
Right.
Look at that last little
Very
sun.
nice.
There we go.
Nicely done. All right. And it looks like Aaron will not be too far behind. Calvin has some momentum going. Chaos, unfortunately, has kind of gotten screwed a little bit here. Only 3 sunflowers.
And the wall that jackpot just to
150
rub it in.
All right. Moving on to
Got that too much.
my personal favorite minigame. Because there's just so much that every single playthrough of its Ring Seeds is, oh wow, that magnet though.
Wow, that magnet early.
Completely different, because you can get virtually any plant in the game just randomly. And so the best plants to get are the magnet shroom, because it activates the 50% rule very fast by stealing metal objects from zombies. The 3-peter and the melon pelt are both excellent firepower. Plantern is really nice for vision, so.
Exactly, and again, this is another one that, although there's a lot of RNG and randomness in terms of what plants you get, it is very important. There are big strategy elements in terms of, when and how quickly you use them, how much defense you devote to any particular row, whether you decide to let a zombie go to the lawnmower to try to get value out of the lawnmower. So again, really a lot of strategy that goes behind this, even though, again, most of the speed of the game is sort of governed by, again, do you get the really strong plants like, the magnets and the
3-peter just comes in for Berry right there.
Yep, 3-peter coming in for Berry is huge. Again, it covers 3 rows, terrific DPS output. So a lot going on for him. Looks like he's not going to need to sacrifice that.
Doom and Ice Room. Interesting start. The eternal misclick outside the game.
Eternal misclick outside the game, yeah.
Most of the runners play in windowed mode, so that they can have chat and OBS and other things open as well. But if you click outside of the game, it's an automatic pause, and there's no way to.
The instant for Aaron. Oh no! Like literally every instant in the game, Aaron's gone.
it's interesting because the instants help each wave be killed.
What is it?
Oh man.
All right, cherry bomb.
He has vision though, so that's nice.
Okay, there you go.
A little bit of firepower there. Actually, yep, looking like Calvin is just a couple hundred sun away from being able to join the Raining Seeds train. And finally, it looks like Chaoskiller is picking up some sunflowers, so should be able to get going relatively quickly.
All right, Calvin finishes it up.
Yeah, that's just so rough on Chaos that the RNG is pecking him this much. Like, when he's already the underdog, but I'm sure he'll be able to pull it through.
Yeah. Again, as we mentioned, some of the levels have a 3 or 4 minute variability to them. So again, what's going very well for one runner in one level, all of a sudden the tide can turn very quickly. So
I will say, actually, interesting point of note. Calvin just went out to go buy the rake. I didn't see Aaron or Barry choose to buy the rake on either of those. So we'll have to see if that ends up helping him in the long run to maybe catch up some time. But I was kind of curious going into this how they were going to decide their rakes.
Raining Seeds, Invisible, and Seeing Stars. So Seeing Stars won't be useful, but the other... I mean, it might still be useful, actually. But...
Well, Raining Seeds, because it skips over the gold.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not... Okay, it seems like Barry's doing pretty good. I don't know if they still have the magnet or not. As for the other two... I don't
believe I've seen any bungees for them yet.
But it could have just gotten eaten by... Oh, did they put the tall nut in front of it? That could... Yeah.
Chaos is giving into addiction and still spinning.
Aaron gets the magnet. Very, very nice to see.
There's something like so calming about watching this particular mini game, and something so satisfying about like just seeing, all the different types of plants and how they work together. Again, that's for watching. For speedrunning, it can be very stressful when you feel like you don't get all the plants that you want. But I know I love watching people play this game so much because it's like fun to then try to remember because you have the fog blocking some of them. So again, very important for the runners to remember sort of what plants are alive in what row. Ooh, as Calvin gets some vision. One of the plants, the planter in there, you can see gives vision in a 5x5 radius, which again doesn't help your speed directly, but because you now have knowledge of what plants are gonna appearing where.
I'm liking the kernel pulse for Barry, 4 of them now.
Chaos just made it out of slot machine as well.
Yes,
and they also opted for the rake. So again, we'll have to see if that's gonna help them catch up any time.
Go in the pool.
And what we mean by the rake is that you can sort of X out of mini games for a second and go to the shop to buy the rake. It probably takes about 4 seconds for a relatively speedy runner to do that. And the advantage of the rake is that it automatically kills the first zombie that appears on screen. So there's a little bit of a trade-off in terms of like, do you want, is it worth kind of going out of the level to buy that rake, but the rake does last for 3 levels. So it really ultimately only comes at the cost of about 1 second per level. And having the security of knowing, hey, like I'm going to kill the, I know for a fact I'm going to kill the first zombie, that can be a real benefit to the runners. There are some levels though where the rake can kind of work against them. So I'm wondering if that's why the other 2 runners decided not to buy the rake.
Calvin, keep that planter, and yes, okay.
Yeah, very, very scary. Yeah. And again, really, with the exception of the marigold, all the plants do kind of come in handy here. There at least is, even the walnut.
I don't think Barry has the magnet anymore. I think it was lost.
Oh, been lost. Yeah, I thought
though, that is cool. Okay, cherry comes in.
Maybe not. Again, this is another level where, again, it's tricky to see casually, but the 50% rule is on full display here, meaning that if we do 50% of the current wave's hit points, then the next wave is guaranteed to appear. So that's why sometimes you'll see the runners really, focus some of their instance on some of those high hit point zombies like the football and the bucket head, because that can help them move forward with the level much more quickly. The exception to that, though, is the waves that are right before the huge wave and the final wave itself. That you have to do 100% of the wave's hit points in order for the next wave to appear. Or wait 30 seconds, which is not great.
I will say, coming back in here, Chaos is actually getting quite a few good plants despite starting so late. Like
Yeah,
he has 3 Peter, he has Melon Pole, he's got Vision, he's got Magnet already. Like he's pretty set. All of his lanes already have firepower.
It's a great position to be in. You know, sort of midway through the first flag. You know, again having protection for the important plants, having coverage in all the different. He gets another 3-peater. Again, this is exactly what we were talking about. You know that again you can fall a little bit behind on one level, but you know again some good early RNG.
Barry's in a good spot with a triple magnet. Look at that.
Man, Magnet City, down there for Barry as well.
Yeah. Wow, that is going to be very useful. Looks like Calvin still hasn't picked any up, unfortunately.
He's maybe gotten
Usually you would like one. Oh, lots of bucket heads as well.
Out of all the runners.
Oh, Barry just lost the melon pulp though. That really sucks. Especially for that row, was kind of carried by it.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Every once in a while, you'll see those bungee zombies appear, and they'll steal the plant that they're hovering above. So sometimes, again, you can fall into the habit of sort of getting very dependent on a particular plant to cover, you know, one or more of your different rows. But if that gets stolen by the bungee, like we saw right there for Aaron stealing his torchwood, yeah, again, it can really kind of affect things for the rest of the level.
Oh, this is not fun for Calvin here. Or for Aaron, rather. Calvin's doing... Aaron's really gotten... Aaron entered, I think, quite a bit earlier than Calvin, right? But
yeah, he did.
Aaron had a chance to lose there if he hadn't gotten the tangle, but it looks like he's going to have to let another pool row go, which is extremely unfortunate.
Yeah, he's getting all those buckets that are being held up in the pool. That's not great.
Yeah. And didn't Aaron get a magnet at one point? Must have lost it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had one, yeah, but wasn't it, just didn't get the firepower necessary to protect it. So, yeah, again, and again, this is exactly how it is. This is one level where, again, I think our top times are in the maybe 8-minute marker. We've all had a situation where it's maybe taken 13 or 14 minutes to finish this level. So again, there can easily be a 5-minute swing. On this level alone, and I'm worried Aaron's gonna, lose.
Poor Aaron. Here. That is not the plant that he needed to lose. 3-peater, huge.
Oof, huge. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that bucket head though.
Oh man. Yep.
Oh god. Yes. Put it down.
Is this where we're gonna see a first death of the run of the race? That's a big
I
question.
really hope not.
I hope not either. He's almost at flag 3, so it's that would be so much time to lose.
Absolutely. As Barry finishing up the final wave here. Again, I think between all those magnets, and it looks like he has 3 3-peaters. Plenty of vision. Again, you have to like Barry's position here going into Begould, the next level. Yeah,
Begould, it's a match 3. You just kind of got to do it fast. So I don't think that, and the zombies don't really matter. Yeah,
based on Bejeweled, of course. The puns for some of the names of the mini games definitely still crack me up, even though I've been running this game for 3 years. Still a good appreciation there. Again, a quick match 3 where again you just have to get to 75. 75 matches. And again, a normal match is worth 1, but if you can easily, well, not easily, but you can put together combos and get get additional matches that sort of fall back to back, as well as if you get a match of 4 or 5, those will usually count for 2. So again, one of the higher skill cap mini games for sure. Just being able to see those matches really quickly and potentially even see the combos that help you sort of help you fall and get through the level pretty quickly. Usually only takes top runners maybe 2 minutes or so to get through. So not going to be as much variability in this one as some of the others. But again, even still a little bit of luck that comes into play here with the randomness of sort of what plants you get that sort of refresh the places of the old plants.
So Aaron still has not died, excitingly, so...
It looks like Aaron will be okay.
Out. Yeah. Hopefully bungees are still nice, but... Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like Calvin might now be a little bit ahead of him, despite being maybe a minute or so behind. earlier. So again, yeah, the Raining Seeds curse. You know, it's just there's really none of the runners will feel safe until the end of Dr. Zomboss, the very last level. So.
Oh yeah, Zomboss himself could change quite a bit. All right, Berry finishes up Begooled and moves on to
Invisible, I believe.
Invisible, yes, Invisible. I'm not used to the order of them. Invisible
now they're buying their rake. Interesting.
Not a fun level in a lot of ways, because it feels like you just get maybe like 25% less plants than you need the entire time. And the zombies are invisible, so you can't tell where they are. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. This is another level where it's possible to die.
And again, another level where the randomness of the conveyor will definitely come into play. I think all
mentioned the conveyor manipulation yet, because I don't. Yeah, none of the top 5, except for Walnut Bowling, is a conveyor level, but Walnut Bowling doesn't have the manipulation. So one thing that you can do, and it's less obvious on this level than a future one, being Walnut Bowling 2, is that although the conveyor may seem completely random, there is actually a little bit of manipulation you can do with it. So by holding on to the plants you don't want, it makes them less likely to. It makes it less likely for the conveyor to give you more of them. So if you get to 3, I believe the chance is reduced, and if you get to 4, then it drops down to 1%, I believe. So we may see that a little bit here. For example, Berry not planting the lily pads, even though they could do it, they want to hold on to it to try to get other plants at this point. And Aaron moves on, and Calvin does too.
If you don't want a particular plant, don't plant it. It can feel a little counterintuitive. You know, those of us sort of used to trying to plant everything as quickly as possible. But of course, you don't want the conveyor to get totally full, because then you won't get any new plants at all. So there's definitely a little bit of trade-off there between again, trying to manipulate the conveyor to get the plants that you do want versus again, making sure you don't run out of space on the conveyor.
It looks like Chaos is also on the final wave of Raining Seeds, so this is actually like really close for Calvin, Aaron, and Chaos. They're all neck and neck basically.
I'll bet Chaos made up at least a minute, I want to say, kind of compared to some of the other.
Look at all those repeaters, melon bolts, and everything.
Yep, beauty of the level for sure. One thing I've noticed, having played PvZ2 a little bit more recently, is that I do find that Begooled is a little bit more difficult in PvZ1, having to play on your computer screen as opposed to in PvZ2, where it's generally the runs are played on mobile, and you can sort of use your fingers to be able to swipe the matches and so forth. Like, it's harder to click the mouse and then drag and release the mouse and things like that than it would be just to sort of swipe your finger and sort of then move on to the next thing too. So although you might be sort of sitting there saying, hey, he can't see this, or that looks slow, or that looks a little sloppy, there is actually sort of a mechanical difficulty that comes along with Begooled as well, in terms of just, again, trying to get the clicking just right, as opposed to just kind of the drag and drop. So
everyone but Berry is fairly close together, though. It'll be interesting to see how that. Wow, Berry has 5 lily pads at this point.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I may as well plant at least one of that. And using a pool cleaner. I don't feel like Berry's perhaps gotten the firepower they've needed. Oh, Calvin.
Looks like Calvin's
the computer might have frozen.
That is not ideal.
Yeah, so we'll have to see as as things get a little bit.
Yeah, I see that there. There it is.
Yeah, I totally see it. Yep. So luckily it was just at the beginning of the level.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's just a matter of maybe Xing out of the program, and then certainly he can jump right back into to where he was. Yep. But that's a freeze. Not what we were looking to see, particularly where it looked like he was in second place, right, heading into. I
believe Aaron was.
I think. Oh, maybe Aaron. Yeah, yeah. Nonetheless.
All right, let's see. Seems like Berry's been able to at least get a little bit of firepower in every row.
Yep, still he's onto the second flag, and usually each flag takes about 3.5 to 4 minutes. So I would say it's fairly safe to say that Berry probably has about a 3-minute lead right now, at least compared to Aaron, and Chaos maybe a minute to a minute and a half behind Aaron. But again, hopefully Calvin's able to reset his computer relatively quickly and jump back into things so that he doesn't lose too much time. But again, we certainly pray for no more technical issues and so forth. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, he's saying he's back, so that's got to be encouraging. Yeah, we'll just maybe give it a second to see if his stream gets reloaded and making sure we can capture it and all that good stuff. Oh, yep. I just saw the game reload. Yep, we've got him. Yep, yeah, right.
On,
good. Yeah, maybe only lost about 2 minutes or so. Again, not
invisible. Yeah. All right, we're back at
Here
it.
you go, buddy. Okay, Calvin's back
Here we
in.
go.
Yeah. I believe, we're listening to Aaron's audio because Berry, who's in the lead, has the stream playing through it, so I believe Aaron probably doesn't have Discord notifications muted.
I believe that's what's happening as well.
Yeah. All right, so...
Streamer mode, it's a great application, guys.
I don't know if Berry's necessarily gotten an excellent invisible by any stretch here.
His first half in particular was really brutal. He got 2 pea shooters, and I think it was 10 or 11 consecutive plants before he got his next pea shooter or piece of firepower. But the second half's definitely looked up for him a little bit better. I would say overall. Again, Invisible. The second half of Invisible is notorious for having
to let another zombie go there.
Yet, but the dolphin zombies that jump in the pool and jump over your first lily pad. That's why we saw Berry sort of forward planting some of his lily pads a little bit to sort of counter those, as well as having those zombonis that leave the big trail of ice that you can't plant anything on behind them as well. Luckily, it does disappear after a little while, but again, it's been an interesting ride for sure for Berry, and we'll have to see if some of the other runners can make up a little bit of time behind him.
Berry did get a very sizable lead from Slot Machine, and I believe also Walnut Bowling as well. So Berry left the row empty because they were forced to let a zombie go to the mower. But luckily, one nice thing about the mower is that when you use a mower in a row, no more zombies will spawn there for the next 2 waves, which means you can feel relatively safe. I don't know if Berry will get zombies there in the final wave, but I think the row just got too intense because, again, the firepower is really not strong enough for this level to really be able to consistently...
There aren't many glitches in PvZ. A really kind of well-programmed, well-designed game. But you actually did see Berry just take advantage of a glitch there. If you use the ice shroom at a very specific timing, just as the final wave is about to spawn, there's maybe about a half second to a 1 second window where you can use it. But zombies won't appear in the pool. Normally, you get about 3 zombies.
There's a lot of zombies there in that row for Berry.
He was able to take advantage of that glitch. Again, this is really the only level where it regularly comes into play as Berry kind of finishes things up right here. But it's a very tight timing. But again, one of the few glitches that runners can take advantage of. And luckily, again, not frame perfect, but you do need to have pretty specific timing in order to.
Berry kind of got dumpstered on that final wave, but luckily the lead up. Did Aaron just freeze?
Oh no! Please tell me Aaron didn't just freeze. Oh boy.
Well, we can at least switch game audio over to I believe Chaos
is actually ahead now.
Chaos might actually be ahead. He's gotten a much better RNG and has done a really good job using his squashes at the ideal time. So.
All right. So, seeing stars, not super fascinating level. You basically try to plant 12 sunflowers as soon as possible, and then you start planting your, because the math ends up working out that if you get the 12 sunflowers out, it's better first, and then you start with the stars. And you will see Berry planting a bunch of puff shrooms here, and the reason why is because they're free and they stall the zombies. So it looks like Yeah, the technical difficulties are strong.
It's because we're streaming on Halloween. It's got to be.
Of course, we're full moon, and
Full moon, blue moon, Halloween. Just
yeah,
not
Saturday,
happy with the zombies.
2020.
Zombies. The zombies are using everything they can to attack the runners right now.
That's
including their
unfortunate. I don't know. Oh, I think it may have been Aaron's internet rather than the level. So
That sucks.
because of that, I think Aaron might be able to just continue off.
Yeah, it looks like he's framing back in here with a little slideshow kind of action. We'll probably stick on Chaos since they're the most ahead with audio. Not as many issues right now, but
yeah.
see how it goes.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
That's great. Yeah, we were. I was originally planning to possibly, go see my nieces today and do a little trick or treating. And by trick or treating, we mean basically a sort of a glorified, like Easter egg hunt or search for candy just in their yard. But we got 6 inches of snow yesterday, so that is not going to happen. So again, we're talking 2020. Again, even 2020 finds a way to even ruin Halloween here in New England. So just can't catch a break, can we?
All right, so it looks like Barry's moving through Seeing Stars as expected, no major issues, and everyone else working through Invisible. Chaos getting actually relatively close to the end. And Aaron as well, very close to the end. Calvin,
yeah,
of
Calvin
course,
honestly doing great for having that disconnect.
considering the freeze, yeah, and then the slot machine, and Calvin's kind of gotten screwed a little bit, shall we say? Very unfortunate.
But again, yeah, still plenty of levels.
Of course,
no extra glitch from Chaos.
There is still, I believe, coming up. I mean, Call Him Like You See Him will be very interesting to see what happens there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody's favorite.
That one was the one level I died in my 100% run.
I think we're gonna jump back over to Aaron's audio. It seems like it's stabilized a bit.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. Things.
All right, Barry, moving on from Seeing Stars.
Yeah, Aaron entered Seeing Stars right as Barry left it. That's
into
like a
Zombiquarium,
3-minute difference right there. Yeah.
We're sort of at a lull in the run right now because Zombiquarium, essentially you just feed the zombies and you get more of them and then you get 1,000 sun. There's not a whole lot of variability with Seeing Stars or Zombiquarium, which is why we typically with all minigames tend to put them, because we normally do not play them in order. We can play them in any order we want, but of course, it's been mentioned before, but for new viewers, the reason why we are playing them in order is so that we can see where everyone is relative to each other. But typically, most runners will start with Slot Machine, get all the RNG levels out of the way first. Slot Machine, Raining Seeds, and Invisible is a pretty common first 3. And then, levels like Whack-A-Zombie, which is a pure auto-scroller, Seeing Stars, and Zombiquarium tend to be at the end. But right now, since we are doing them in order, we sort of have a couple of those levels back to back. So the strategy though for Zombiquarium is to get 9 zombies, I believe, and then just sort of feed them until you get 1,000 sun.
Yeah, 9 or 8. It's kind of a debate up there. Like,
Yeah,
people like, well, should you get the 9 zombie or
in
not?
my
but-
time, it was 9.
all those weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, no, just in general, it's been like that for a while. But I think generally people do 9 just to be safe.
Yeah.
As you see the zombies turn green, you do have to feed them to make sure the zombies don't die. They make sort of a sickening sound if they do if they do die. But towards the end of the level, you don't want to feed the zombies because each time you feed them, it costs 5 sun. And again, as you get very close to the end of the level, it's simply not worth the 5 sun if they're not going to generate any more sun for you anyway. But it's a little bit of a sickening sound that no one likes to hear. So
yeah. What seems to be a pretty good Invisible, actually. Seems like it worked out pretty well for Calvin here.
Looks
for
like
the
he
most
has quite a
part.
bit of firepower.
And so it'll be good to at least have Calvin move through that. I hope that Calvin's run turns around and he's able to get some good RNG for the future levels, just to make things more interesting.
Yeah. We still got Column. We still got.
Oh, we still have so much more.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I mean, Zomboss is at the end. There's plenty to catch up on.
All right. Okay. Begooled Twist. Basically like the other Begooled, but now you twist them. Great description.
Yeah.
But
It potentially has the room to be a little bit faster than Begooled, simply because with each twist you're moving 4 plants at the same time rather than just 2. So again, for a very, very experienced runner, sometimes you can sort of see combinations between 2. There's more different types of ways to get a match of 3 because you're moving 4 plants in a clockwise direction as opposed to just moving 2 plants back and forth. But it's a little bit less intuitive to see because you're at least for me, I feel like my brain isn't like programmed to sort of see the circle quite as easily as just a simple match either vertically or horizontally. We have one thing we haven't talked about is the excellent music that exists in Plants vs. Zombies, and we get pretty much the full display of music in Minigames. Again, another reason to love the category for sure. I know everyone kind of has their own favorite song, but also
there is one objectively best one.
You really can't. Yeah, really can't.
And that objectively best one is, of course, Ultimate Battle. Although Loon Boon is close behind, I would argue.
Oh well, I thought you were going to go hard on Loon Boon, I must say.
No,
I'm the Loon Boon boy. That's
you are a Loon Boon boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be, but I think the reason why is because Ultimate Battle really kind of got screwed in the DS version, because the DS version has remixes of all the tunes. And actually, that's probably a good thing to bring up is that even though most runners play on PC, there are other ways to play this game, such as the mobile release and the console release. And
I know Shiny's a big console player.
We do have run categories for all of those versions. So if you own this game at all and you're interested in it on any platform, we are, as long as you have a video, we are good to go. Grace the Roof and Brainiac Maniac are also both excellent. Ooh, Big Trouble Little Zombie. Okay, wow, this run of 4 mini games here is all like
end game,
very end of the run.
Yep. Yeah, these ones tend to be a little bit more consistent, and this is a particularly interesting one in that there is a 50% rule, meaning that if you do 50% of the current wave's hit points, the next wave's guaranteed to appear. However, there's a very, very short timer between the waves anyway, such that unless you use a cherry bomb sort of right as the zombies are appearing on screen, you're often better off, just sort of waiting anyway. So it's really more of sort of a defensive level, but also making sure that you use your cherries at the right time on the waves right before the huge waves, so that you can make sure that again you satisfy that 50% rule and you get the huge wave on screen as quickly as you can. It's a little bit of a trade-off here between.
Oh, did the game freeze again for Calvin?
No, they're talking about.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah. I was like, wait a second. So for a brief period there, Barry was actually 2 levels ahead, which was very interesting to see. Although this level sucks. Yep.
And I've seen all the runners practicing this week. I think there was one point yesterday where I think 3 out of the 4 of them were streaming simultaneously with a practice.
Yeah,
maybe it wasn't quite that, but they. Yep.
Yeah, Chaos is definitely not that far behind Aaron, especially for how consistent these levels tend to be. So we'll have to see what happens.
So a lot of
you hear in Aaron's audio that he's clicking very rapidly, and that isn't necessarily a mistake. Usually what most runners will do is sort of, as they're looking for a match, they'll sort of click around the screen a little bit just to see, because every once in a while you just sort of click or stumble on a match that you weren't expecting. So as you're looking for a match, there's really very little cost to sort of clicking and trying something else, because every once in a while, you'll get lucky, you'll get a match, and kind of move things along as you're sort of looking around on screen. So again, not necessarily a mistake so much as just something to pass the time as you're looking for a more reliable match.
And this level is what the game designers decided to do with a lot of the mini games was basically just take adventure mode levels and make them a little bit longer. And sometimes they added some new stuff. Other times, in the case of this level, for example, it's essentially just 3-5, but with an extra flag. And so that is perhaps a good way to bring up that there are also a vast number of different categories in this game as well to run. There is any percent, which is completing the adventure mode, mini games, which we're doing right now, and they come in a wide variety of lengths. Adventure, any percent tends to be around 3.5 hours. This run, like 1 hour and 40 minutes. There's also puzzles, which is a really fun category, very fast paced, around 12, 13 minutes, depending on how good the runner is. And that was actually my first category with this game as well, several years ago. So there really is a run for everyone, depending on how fast you want to take things, essentially.
We also have individual levels for any of these mini games individually, as well as the survivals, which can be done either individually or as a group all together. So again, the shortest single category we have is actually probably Beghouled or Beghouled Twist, which can be completed in close to a minute. And longest category, 100%. Again, it'll take a top runner maybe 7.5 to 8 hours or so. So again, whether you like long or short, whether you like more strategy or luck-based mini games, whether you like kind of faster or slower paced, there's a level and there's a category for you in Plants vs. Zombies. Although again, we have a pretty big community of maybe 20, 30 active runners in any given month. Almost every single IL or individual level has been improved in the last 12 months, the majority of which being improved, the world record being improved in just the last couple of months. So, although the strategies sort of never seem fixed for the longest period of time, maybe one of you is looking at this and being like, hey, why don't they use this? Or why don't they take a look at this plan? And, chances are maybe somebody's considered it, but there's still plenty of room for improvement in a lot of the categories, a lot of the levels. And again, we're very open, very, very welcoming. We really, we have runners from, all around the world, all different skill levels. And, it's really, again, it's a beautiful speed game. It never gets old. And just, again, by the very nature of the levels being non-deterministic and different zombies appearing in different rows and different strengths and things like that, that's where, again, I think that's sort of where the true beauty of the speedrun lies, that, again, every time you play through it, it feels fresh, it feels new, it feels different. And a strategy that worked very well for you one time may not necessarily work the next time. So, again, being able to adapt and think on your feet is really sort of at the core of the speed game.
Welcome to Portal Combat here. This level is not that hard to die on either, mainly because of the balloon zombies. And so the idea of the level is kind of an interesting one. You can have zombies walk through the portals that kind of randomly go around the lawn, and plants can shoot through them as well. But the issue is that the game sends balloon zombies at you, and the only real methods you have of dealing with them are the cherry bombs and the cacti. So if you don't get enough of those and you get balloon zombies in unlucky rows, you can just lose. If you and it's not super likely, but it has killed, I think, probably almost every runner of all minigames has experienced it at least once on a good pace.
Luckily, it looks like Barry's getting quite a few cactuses, which will help with the
Barry
zombies, but they're getting very bad portal placement right there.
Mm-hmm. Portal RNG is definitely one thing to keep in mind. The portal moves about every minute or so. However, which portal moves and where it moves to is random. And the game, the mechanics behind the portal are very interesting in that the game tends to place it's probably the probability of getting a zombie in a row that has a portal is more likely than not. So, for example, it just ended, but that's why it seemed like Barry was getting a lot of zombies in that third row, and now as a result, he's going to be getting a lot of zombies in the first row and potentially the fifth row, because that's where the portal placements are. So again, although the zombie placements are usually fairly random between wave to wave, on this level, the portal placement actually affects what rows are more likely to get zombies to begin with. And so again, as a result, you want to put a lot of firepower in the rows that are currently getting the most number of zombies. But if a portal moves and all of a sudden you have a row that's really unprotected, your luck can change really at the blink of an eye on this level for sure.
All right, looks like Barry's kind of cooking through this one.
Yeah, they got that nice kill lane up top.
Yeah, luck
Oh, yeah.
picked up. Aaron just moving into it real quick. Chaos and Calvin finishing up. Big Trouble Zombie here. So, let's see. Okay. So the next level, Calm Like You See Him, will be a decider. Because Calm Like You See Him is... It has a reputation. And the level essentially comes down to only one thing. And casually, you may be like, oh, it's the number of melon pulse you get, right? Because casually, if you're like, oh, if you get extra melon pulse, I remember it was super fun because you felt on top of the world if you got extra ones there. But actually, for speedrunning, the number of jalapenos you get, and also squashes to an extent, is essentially the only thing that really ends up mattering. And if you don't get jalapenos or squashes, there's basically nothing you can do. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how that goes for our runners here. And if you do get them, then the level tends to be about the same length, about 3 minutes and 40 seconds, roughly. But we shall see.
The first 5 plants that you get are always the same. You always get one walnut, one magnet with the coffee, 2 melon pults, and then the potato mine. But after that, it's basically completely random. You see Barry gets a jalapeno right away. That's very, very, very good for him. Basically going to secure that at least the first probably 3/4 of this level is going to go well for him. He's just probably hoping here to get just a couple of more, make sure the final 2 waves go well.
Barry's also holding off on that potato mine.
Interesting.
I've started doing that as well, believe it or not, and saving it for the Gargs right after right on the wave, so that way
I like that quite a bit. I like that quite a bit actually. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, so I started doing that relatively recently, and I'm quite a fan. Well, again, we were talking about enough melon pults. Barry definitely can't be complaining about that either. Just adds a little bit more protection. It doesn't add that much speed to the level, but it does sort of help guarantee his safety, particularly as the Gargantuars, which we haven't seen any of yet, but they're generally the scariest zombies in the run.
Combat
come in right here.
And here's the use of the jalapeno. Boom, everything's gone. Oh, using it now. Okay.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So again, it should be very close. Oh, it gets another jalapeno here.
All right. Barry's essentially set.
Yeah.
For this level, at least, of course, everything and anything can change. All right. And yeah.
Yeah, there's that. That's why you wait on those. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, the potato mine, again, could help in some of the earlier waves, with the ladder zombies and such, but definitely a little more helpful to deal with those Gargs that can sort of turn into a real problem if you don't happen to get 5 melon.
5 melons. A casual player's dream.
Yep. Take a screenshot of this. I truly don't remember the last time that I got 5 melon pulls, and
I think I've seen someone get 7 or so before.
In the last couple of months, so yep. Aaron finishing up Portal Combat himself. So again, not going to be too far behind. Maybe only
Aaron,
2.5 to 3 minutes. I want to say definitely making up a little bit of time in those last 2 levels. Wow, 3! What a beauty!
And here comes Ultimate Battle as well. The only time you'll see it, hear it rather, in Minigames. Come on, it is the best. You have to just accept it. I used to think it was the best.
I'm grooving here in my chair. I'm definitely groove it. I'm with you, super. Yeah.
All right, I'm glad to hear it.
Chaos got really hacked by a portal here. Oh, and the footballer that ran through and passed the walnut. Oh my gosh.
Sucks. I don't know why they're not using the walnut they just got though.
Yeah.
I think they might have just forgotten about it.
Go. I think that could be perhaps a little bit risky.
Cutting their losses a little bit. And,
yeah, that also might be right.
Oh man, that second row / fourth
wow, the
row.
2 jalapenos for Aaron, very, very good. All right, so I worry that then it will be Calvin or Chaos who is to face the wrath of like you see them. But anyway, Barry moves on to Bobsled Bonanza. This strat is perhaps among my favorite in the entire run because there's a very specific way we do it. You may have noticed that Barry didn't really take any attacking plants actually, besides the spike lead. And that will actually be very useful to us in short order.
Yeah, basically, we take advantage of a very particular mechanic in this game related to the bobsleds. And the bobsleds, as we'll see coming up here, basically take what would have been all of your regular zombies, put them in the bobsled, and send them down one of the rows with ice. However, the bobsled itself is considered to have some hit points. And so as a result, it'll make more sense as this level begins to progress, but we can basically manipulate the game into giving us bobsleds, and then when that bobsled disappears, as you'll see on his screen right here, as that bobsled disappears, that's usually enough to satisfy the 50% rule, or i.e. what would have been 50% of the current wave's hit points. So you'll see he's gonna let these couple of rows go, because just the bobsled landing and disappearing alone was enough for him to spawn the next wave. So that's a mechanic that we take advantage of
here. You really do want to see that Zomboni show up in hopefully that top row very, very shortly. That was lucky though. That was
beauty.
Good value.
But what a beauty! Yeah, this could be.
Oh wow, we even got that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
might have to do a little bit of backup strats here.
Yeah. I like the strat there. Might honestly be worth the spike.
No, Chaos died. Oh no, so unlucky.
No.
I think we got to drop some Aaron, so we're swapping back to Calvin, I guess now.
Oh,
it looks like Barry's kind of getting into a tough
that second row anyway. He just got really bad luck with the portal switching on him at the wrong place.
Extremely unfortunate. That is exactly what we're talking about. I feel like Barry might be able to handle this situation, but it does feel like they kind of got a little bit ahead of themselves in a lot of ways with this level. It'll be interesting to see how the sun situation works out, because often it is very, very easy to get just a little behind on sun in this level, and it really hurts. Yeah, this will be interesting.
We may want to switch
really
Aaron's audio. He might be having some either internet or...
now we're over to Calvin.
We're on Calvin.
Over to Calvin's.
See, we've had everyone have their audio for at least once. Yeah, this is looking interesting for Barry here. Extremely unfortunate. I think we'll see a cherry bomb soon.
Yep.
Ooh.
Maybe even another early...
I do not like this at all.
Not,
oh, God.
Right. I mean, honestly, he
could
could
let
the row go.
Yeah, that might. I think that might be. But then, wouldn't it cause the issue of having zombies not spawn there?
So I think
you start having, and then you start getting regular zombies.
I think it works differently in that the bobsleds I don't think are get 2 waves for free.
Interesting.
After using a lawnmower. Yeah.
Okay, there we are.
I think it's definitely one of the but also honest. I kind of want to stay on Ultimate Battle.
Yeah.
We'll stay on Ultimate Battle a little while. We'll watch Calvin do the thing. So yeah.
Okay. Do you think nice diamond? Okay. Looks like Barry's starting to get on top of things a little.
Yeah, nice
that bottom row though. That bottom row though. Accidentally got a little bit of bobsled there on the bottom row.
Yep. Yeah, if you have just that little bit of ice, that's enough for the game to think, hey, let's send some bobsleds here.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, luckily, able to deal with it
with
easily.
Yeah.
But again, just a little low on the sun, I think.
Calvin's actually looking pretty good from his health.
Everyone did in fact get a successful, except for Chaos isn't there yet, but overall successful column for the 3 runners we've seen get to it.
Yeah, I know. Fingers crossed for poor Chaos. He's he's not caught a lot of breaks so far this game. That's for sure.
It'd be interesting to see what kind of Bobsled Bonanza Aaron gets here.
I think we're gonna finish out this level for Calvin and then maybe swap back to Aaron, just because it's good music. It's not heard enough in minigames.
No, not at all. Although proportionally, it's probably pretty similar to 90%.
Yeah.
Got the doom out there.
No, that would make sense. Yeah, unfortunately, Aaron's having to let those bobsleds go up top. He doesn't have anything to really deal with it.
Yeah, could use a cherry.
Yeah, a lot of runners, I think, playing this level a little too fast is very difficult to find that rhythm.
It's tricky, yeah. Sometimes, especially in a race setting, there's definitely that balance between, speed and consistency, and maybe you feel like, you're behind or you're ahead.
It looked like disaster here for Calvin, but again, the jalapeno
just
solved all. Although it does.
He doesn't have one for the final wave, so it's going to be...
Well, the final wave may not spawn on the bottom row, at least, so he's probably not going to take a death. It's just going to be... but these guys...
Oh,
no, he won't take a death, but it might just be very, very slow. Because of the guards here that just,
He's going to get a double guard there.
Oh, there's the squash. I think he'll be okay.
Barry's going on to Zombie Nimble.
Let's go. Get your squash-a-boats in chat.
Maybe we can switch over to Chaos now because third guard.
I think it's good. I think we're just going to continue to go back to Aaron.
Could be a little bit too much. We wouldn't want to get tired of it. Aaron seems to be running in a similar situation as Barry earlier.
Yep. But again, I don't necessarily disagree. It just does mean that the sun situation is going to be maybe a little bit more difficult than usual.
All right, Zombie Nimble, Zombie Quick. This one often called the carpal tunnel level.
Barry's not using cattails.
Yeah, Barry does the double pumpkin. I'm a big this is the one level that we do use the cattail in generally. Although again, not all runners necessarily will. But yeah, this level basically plays like a one of the New Game Plus levels. It's 4 flags long, but it plays at twice the speed as a regular level. So it's not inherently more difficult, other than the fact that the zombies are appearing really quickly, and you're sort of more limited by sort of how quickly you can move your mouse and click. And misclicks are definitely
that was
very rampant on this level. Ooh, very
that cone head spawn. Not like that. Oh, I don't know.
Very expensive in my opinion. I probably just would have either waited for the squash or just used
I might have let it go.
Yeah,
potato. That was just really unfortunate. I don't know what I would have done actually, because it would have been you would have had to wait the full time there because of the 50% rule.
I will note for Bobsled, the reason we put it, making them have that little one full patch of ice is because the game, if it doesn't have that full patch at least, it'll spawn this Bobsleds there, but also regular zombies. So it's really kind of a balance we've had to hit where you have to have at least that full patch of ice for the minutes to work.
Calvin's made it to, uh-oh, it looks like Chaos is running into issues here. Perhaps.
Chaos
gets a jalapeno, though.
Yeah, all right. Let's get back up. Yeah.
Calvin also having to let zombies eat the sunflowers. Is that even common? That like I feel like that doesn't happen super often where I have to let zombies eat sunflowers.
I feel like it's a decision you make. Like I've done when I was doing my bobsled like ×10 practice runs or whatever. I would just let him go for it because it feels like having the bobsleds go to the mower is worth it.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely up for debate right now.
It's a question of is trading 3 or 4 sunflowers worth the the fact of not needing to like use that early cherry or something like that. So again, this game's definitely all about trade-offs and decision making. And again, even among top runners, they may not play the same level exactly the same way. Like there's certain style differences that come out between the runners. And again, sometimes the decision is not necessarily obvious. When you consider that even in a short level that only has 10 waves, you have 5 different rows that all the zombies could appear in. So, there's basically at least 5 to the 10th different possibilities for, again, even a short level, and, much less some of these other levels where there's, 20, 30, 40 different waves. Really leaves sort of a lot of room for, kind of different strategies, different risk tolerances, and sometimes you're just not necessarily thinking of a certain strategy, and you look back and you're like, I wish I'd done that, or wish I'd thought of that. But again, one of the beauties of PvZ is a speed run that again, it really does come down to the decisions that the runners make, and again, how well they react to certain RNG elements, as opposed to again, as opposed to something that's just luck or just an auto scroll or something like that. As it looks like Barry is sort of finishing things up in a pretty good time there for Zombie Nimble. I don't dislike his strategy. Yeah, it's just I think a lot of the other runners have sort of switched into using the cattail.
Aaron also is not using the cattail actually, and Aaron also grabbed a rate, so Aaron's definitely and they were going slow with their sleeve
Oh,
slayers
boy.
as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Back
Blame
to
Aaron's
Calvin.
ISP. He's
All right,
Yeah.
back to Calvin.
all right. As Barry moves on to Whack-A-Zombie, which is by far the easiest and most consistent level in the entire run. It doesn't even necessarily matter how quickly you kill this, you whack the zombies or kill the zombies, other than in the final wave. So basically, it all kind of comes down to just busting the graves. Trying to minimize the number of zombies that appear on the final wave. But even if you don't necessarily kill them very quickly, the zombies spawn at fixed intervals up until the final wave. So again, a very, very consistent level. Usually most runners, it won't vary by more than, maybe 2 seconds, just depending on, how quickly the final wave goes.
Yeah, Barry also has that nice little 4 group already that they can just aim for.
Absolutely. Hopefully Aaron's internet comes back relatively quickly. I'd hate it if he got a PB or something like that, but due to quality issues, we had to weren't able to accept it. But
I don't think that's going to happen though, given the RNG that we've seen so far.
yeah.
All right, so moving through Bobsled Bonanza. Looks like Calvin's kind of gotten in the swing of things. Chaos is getting the setup going.
I've actually liked the way that Calvin has played this so far between all the runners that we've seen. I feel like I really feel like he let the right waves go at the right times. Again, still managed to get his sunflower count really high. Again, sort of given the RNG that he had, I think his execution has been really on point here. Getting the frame by frame for Aaron, so it's not a game issue. That's what we'd worried the most about. But
is Aaron gonna die? Yep.
No,
that sucks.
Oh my gosh.
God, I can't believe that we barely caught that. We missed all the lead up to that, and then all of a sudden, boom. Cut to Aaron.
This is huge for Calvin. Calvin has a huge chance to catch up right here.
Yeah.
Calvin's finishing up his bobsled right now, so they're starting at that same point.
Wow. They're now
Aaron are now neck and neck.
5 or 10 seconds.
Something's happened to every runner except every runner's essentially taken a death now except for Barry.
Yeah, Barry to be fair, Barry was ahead even without the runners getting those deaths.
Absolutely.
That is true, but I wonder where, if they had all taken a death or if none of them had. It'd be very interesting.
And again, we've said it before.
Calvin's that newer runner strat with them cattails.
There's some brutal levels coming up.
Yes, there are. There's still many things that could happen.
Last
and Pogo Party, Zombo's Revenge.
Zombo's Revenge, yeah, Zombotany 2. I've had many bad things go wrong. So,
Zombotany 2 as well.
Yep. Again, it's not, Aaron's a, very, very, very skilled runner, but we've all had those situations where, again, you feel like you get overrun by zombies in a certain row, and maybe again this level goes so fast, that it's very easy to overlook or miss something. So again, it's happened to all of us,
Yeah, but we'll see pretty soon. Calvin's probably going to plant his first cattail, and you'll see how that kind of could have prevented that compared to the tangles.
It's very interesting.
Cattail going very quick.
How close the two of them are now.
Yeah.
Aaron and Calvin. This will be a very close match. All right.
You're kind of having an IL race at this point.
True.
Yeah, Aaron loses.
Barry coming into last stand, doing the classic strat as well, which probably means no. I guess. I don't know which one's riskier, but so essentially Last Stand is mostly all about the initial setup for these first little bits here and how fast you can essentially get the perk set about, but you are very restricted on sun, and so what that means is if you lose too many pumpkins and you can't afford to replace all of them, then sometimes things can go interestingly. But I wonder, is Barry going to plant more than 4 magnets? I would assume.
I assume so. Maybe just. Yeah, I was going to say, but waiting for the recharge on the pumpkin. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yep. You don't really need more than 4 in the first flag, I would say, so that that does make sense. And again, speaking of things going wrong, sort of before we had the current level of optimization on the strategies, I know of somebody who is on 100% run, save last stand for last, just because he thought it would be really cute that the last level in 100% was last, and not 1 but 2 deaths on the very final wave, and lost 15 minutes in his sub 8-hour pace run due to last stand. So I know of somebody who occasionally gets a little salty, a little bit of a thing with last stand that
just old
aggressive dooms too.
Not even like the adjusted magnet positions. Fascinating.
Yep. Again, I know for me, if I felt like I was on his pace, I might play things a little bit more conservatively. But again, it's sort of, all runners have different styles, different things that they've practiced, different comfort levels, and that's how it goes.
I must say though, for this shot, Berry specifically, I believe they kind of pioneered this one.
That is true.
So they're definitely comfortable with it. So I can understand why they're going for it and why they're probably feeling pretty good right now.
Looks like they lost. Oh no, they were just putting an extra. Oh wait, yeah, no. Why haven't they put out their pumpkins on the magnets yet? I guess probably just trying to save as much time as possible. Interesting though, because I feel like maybe you really care about that recharge time. Using a squash there. Ooh,
rough stuff.
Luckily the magnet survived, but that could be. Is that Doom gonna die? No, it
boy.
That was a
we're
couple
just
close
hang on to
calls
Calvin
there.
here because they're basically neck and neck between Aaron and Calvin right now.
Yeah. That was almost a dead Doom there, which could have been. Would it have killed the run?
I think he had a squash and a tangle
squash.
Help.
Okay.
Yeah, but he may have needed to stall it out using a pumpkin. Like it would have been, maybe 30 seconds lost or so. It could have been disaster. And then again, you're short on sun for the rest of the level as well.
Timed hammer thwacks here with the music.
Yeah, Calvin loves doing the timed hammer thwacks. It's so good.
So good.
Oh man. That almost feels like something a TAS would do, right? Kind of messing around during the downtime to keep in touch with the music.
Oh, I love that.
It's good stuff.
All right. I think it looks again. Sun position. Ooh, magnet shroom in the bottom row there is very near death. It'll probably be okay, but.
Aaron and Calvin and Black Zombie, both of them got their little 4 stacks that they want, so they should both be having a pretty good time out of this level.
Barry. Oh no.
Oh yeah, Calvin is low on sun. Oh my gosh.
Skip the.
Yeah, skip the Tango Cup. Yeah, now he's playing a little
there.
bit
Trying to be safe,
tangles.
but I don't know if it's a. I think Barry will be okay.
Yeah,
but
I think
perhaps
so.
Looking a little low on sun, and we are also lacking that. That gloom there doesn't have. Okay, barely got that.
Thank goodness. Yep, but.
Definitely, these glooms taking a lot of damage here. I think that bottom row one is going to be losing its pumpkin very, very shortly.
Yeah, that extra 75 sun for the squash and lily pad are a little unfortunate. The dolphin.
Ooh,
although I guess they would have just been 25.
That
so
vaulting
like
there.
Lost.
Ooh.
Yep. Yeah, the dolphin made me a little tough. I don't know if you're watching the stream Super versus the.
I meant to say the vaulter, not the dolphin. Wrong.
Oh yeah, the vaulter.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Man. I
I
can feel my heart starting to race for Barry, and I'm not even the one playing there. Holy cow!
I feel like a part of it's like Barry's just so confident, like they're showing off a little bit, like waiting till the last second to plant those pumpkins.
Seriously. Yep. Again, looking at Chaoskiller's screen, you can see the more typical cattail strat that we use here. That really does help avoid deaths. Helps to clean up some of the dolphin zombies that we saw on this level. Yeah, I even like the safety squash that he has in the very back of the second row. I think that's a good, safe way to play things.
Okay.
I'm just hoping
600
Barry
stuff
gets
for the
that
final
last
wave
hit.
should be okay. I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, they're on their last set of like their last flag coming up
I,
here for
yeah,
Barry,
no,
so I think they'll
it'll
probably
be fine. It'll be
They
fine.
have plenty of
Unless
time.
there's like, unless they lose the Doom or something like that. Almost happened earlier, but then ended up being okay.
Man, look at that. The synchronization
They
between
are
Aaron
losing
and
that. They
Calvin.
are going to lose. Oh, barely avoided losing that Gloom there. All right.
Yeah.
Well. Wow, that came down to plant selection there, and Aaron got a slightly faster one. All right.
Oh,
Barry
both,
makes
okay,
it
both
out.
Aaron and Calvin are going to be doing the Torchwood Gloom strat for Last Stand, it looks like.
This is
So
a
we'll
new
see a slightly
strat
different
developed a little bit more recently. It sort of helps to protect the, you basically sacrifice the extra, the extra pumpkin, but you can help protect your pumpkins a little bit better by providing, by using the Torchwood and the and the repeater. So again, help to kill the waves a little bit more quickly and protect some of the glooms a bit better than some of the older, more traditional strats we used to use.
And Barry's into Zombotany 2 here. So a little more slow paced than these past two levels, but definitely scary with the
don't let
squashes.
don't let this level fool you. It can still be very cruel in quite a few ways.
Yes. Those of you that have been with us since the beginning remember Zombotany 1, where we had just the regular pea shooting zombies and the walnut zombies. Well, now in this one, we add a jalapeno zombie that will randomly decide to explode sometimes and kill an entire row worth of plants. We also have the squash zombie that runs very quickly and squashes the first zombie, or the first plant that comes in its way, and the tall nut zombie that has even more hit points than the walnut zombie. So they basically took Zombotany 1, added an extra wave, made it more difficult, and said good luck to the runners. So this is again another level that we find pretty high skill cap, I would say, overall in terms of again making sure that you keep all your plants protected, that you use your instants at the right time, and sort of make sure you have preparation for some of those very dangerous zombies that come at you, particularly in the second and third flags. I will say there's something very beautiful about the last stand strat with the Torchwood and the repeaters and the magnets and the glooms. It's like you just get to see like all this raw firepower, and I know there's something that I really enjoy about that quite a bit.
Calvin slightly ahead of Aaron, apparently. Ooh, no, that'll be fine.
Also, in Zombotany 2, we have the pool here as well, so that's kind of another special treat at this level.
Ooh, uh-oh. Having used an early Doom here is probably not... Oh, no. I see I see what's going on, luckily, yeah. Ooh, that was actually probably a very good decision, because I don't know how they would have dealt with row 5. So, it worked out pretty well.
Oh, sorry. We also have the Gatling Gun Zombie that shoots 4 peas, and it can sort of rip through your plants very quickly. Yeah, you see the squash right there. Had to deliberately plant a sunflower in order to protect the gloom, because even the pumpkin can't protect the gloom from the squash zombie. So, yep, scary stuff. Still can't believe this sync between Calvin and Aaron. It's so close, especially given some of the troubles that they both had.
Yeah, actually, it's really interesting because I think during the setup phase, Calvin just knew his setup a little faster and got into the actual first waves a little quicker, and that's pushed him ahead because they were so close ahead of that. So it'll be interesting. I think they're going to be very close coming out of this, but I think Calvin might actually be a little ahead by it.
Calvin's top magnet there is looking quite vulnerable. A football got to it, so it'll be interesting to see how that ends up going. Barry does not hit everyone with the doom. So part of the reason why, if you may have noticed already, but on the 9th wave, and of course the final wave as well, you do have to kill all the zombies in order to move on to the next one. So the 50% rule doesn't apply.
Yeah. See, one of the great mechanics is that the chomper will one-shot or instantly kill any of the zombies, including the tall nuts. So one of the real reasons for taking the chomper is that it's actually the instant with the lowest cooldown. And so again, if you can get enough sun to be able to support it,
that was kind of close on that squash zombie there.
Yeah, nice save for him. Basically you can use a chomper almost every single wave, and use it again against whatever the highest hit point zombie is of that particular wave. And
Calvin does lose the top magnet there.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
He has one more flag to go through too, so that's going to be real rough.
Again, not necessarily.
Could potentially be an issue, just depending on what the game decides to do. Does look like Calvin lucked out with the top row for now.
Oh, you see, he wishes he had that magnet now.
There's
he would have been able
there.
to get that bucket head.
That actually kind of evens out Calvin and Aaron quite a bit there. Calvin was pulling ahead just a little bit, but now they're almost neck and neck yet again.
Yep. Again, wow, within 2 or 3 seconds now. Yep, kind of as a result of losing that magnet. It's hard, and sometimes it's just RNG. You get the wrong set of plants in the top row, and the magnets are in cooldown, and you get a vaulter and this and that, and you just happen to lose one of your plants. So in some ways, nothing's safe.
Barry's finishing up zombie 2 with that doom. Yep.
He now probably has, I would say, about a 6 to 7 minute lead compared to the other runners. He's definitely had a great combination of execution, very few mistakes, and some nice RNG on a couple of the levels to really help him out.
So this level is actually, versus its predecessor, Walnut Bowling 1, far more skill-based and more fun in general. For one specific reason, the game gives you 3 kinds of walnuts instead of 2. And so that's what actually triggers the conveyor manipulation that I mentioned earlier. So you can't manipulate the conveyor at all in Walnut Bowling 1. It's just a flat 15% chance of getting exploded on any given seed packet. But for Walnut Bowling 2, you can now manipulate away the regular walnuts. And so as you can see, Barry is just going to hold on to the regular walnuts here, has 4 of them right now, which means that almost every additional seed packet we get is going to either be a giant walnut or an explodo, which means we get to use these instants just over and over and over again. And it will really speed up the level and actually makes it one of the most skill-based in the entire run.
Calvin and Aaron are neck and neck again, but Calvin's a little ahead for there. Oh my gosh.
A half sunflower ahead. Actually, Aaron's sun RNG is not looking very good there, so I think Calvin's now full sunflower ahead.
And normally in Walnut 2, the regular walnut is by far the most common plant that you get. But you'll see now, basically the probability of Barry getting any additional walnuts after he has the 4 lined up in the conveyor is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1%. It's a very, very low chance. And so normally you're not supposed to have this many of the much stronger explodos and tall nuts, but again, the conveyor manipulation, again, was a mechanic we found maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago or so, and actually shaved almost 5 minutes.
Oh, wow, what is that vaulter? Just squad right there. Coming in for Barry. A1 is
yeah, A1. I don't know if you're still here,
things,
but we have certain runners that sort of again take issue with different types of zombies or plants or situations, and A1 Major, one of the most veteran runners of PvZ, tends to always get the worst luck when it comes to the vaulters. So
yeah, and in any percent where we have graves, in World 2, we have the good old Warmech 4 stack and the A1 5 stack, but that's for another time. If you're interested in watching more runs of this game, I definitely recommend checking out all the different categories. Also, have we mentioned the game of the year, non-game of the year?
I don't think we have.
Situation. So you may notice that if you've only played the game either the Game of the Year version or the console releases, or the mobile release, you may notice that Barry's Dancer Zombie looks a little bit different than you might be used to, and that's because originally the game released with Michael Jackson inspired dancer zombies, but then I believe they were asked to change it. But the original version of the game still has, and actually they, for some reason, decided to change the way the dancer zombies work. So the dancer zombie is actually quite a bit faster to spawn in the non-Game of the Year version here.
Yeah. The game was released in 2009. I believe it was months before Michael Jackson's passing, and so again, it wasn't a matter of them being insensitive. They actually, loved Michael Jackson's music and things like that. But obviously, then with the tragic passing, by the time the Game of the Year version was released, I believe in 2010, they made that modification just in order to sort of honor his estate and his memory.
Those calming pool sounds and pea shooters hitting the house sounds.
Yeah. It seems like the Zombotany 2 experience is going relatively well for Aaron and Calvin. I haven't, I don't think there's been any major hiccups for either.
The squashes are going to start rolling in here soon, though. So.
Oh, definitely. There is. Aaron gets a diamond. We've seen quite a few diamonds here.
I think Barry might be the only person who didn't get a diamond today.
Yeah.
Maybe Zob Boss has a treat for him.
It looks like Barry's wrapping up while nippling 2 relatively smoothly here, which means we only have 2 levels left to see out of Barry, being Pogo Party and Dr. Zomboss's Revenge. And Pogo Party is luckily not too bad most of the time, but it being on the roof with Pogo Zombies does carry some inherent risks with it. And then Zomboss is interesting, as we shall see, I imagine. I have some personal beef with him.
If Barry might actually be on PB pace, but I think it's going to be like if they do it, ideally probably like a 138, which will be a little late past their PB, but they're doing great. It's
going to be like 138 range. Very, very good run out of Barry here.
Really excellent time and execution from him really throughout the entire run. And considering he didn't get any resets on again Raining Seeds or Slot Machine, it's probably all he could have asked for a race setting.
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, you can take a death here, but it is very skill for the most part. So I think he'll probably be able to avoid it.
I guess we shall see. That's why we bring the jalapeno, though, mostly as a backup.
You don't need all 10 of the plants, but again, we sort of utilize the same strategy because there is a 50% rule here as well, but the pogos themselves move very, very quickly, so we're sort of constantly in a situation of needing to, make sure we're doing enough damage to the pogos, but, not letting them go unless we have one of the roof cleaners, sort of the lawn mowers of the roof here to protect them. So you'll have to keep in mind, for example, here that bottom row, he won't be able to let any of the other.
Wow, Aaron and Calvin still super duper close. I feel like Calvin may have just miscounted the waves right there, though.
And it looks like Aaron's gonna pull ahead.
A little unfortunate. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So Aaron does take a slight lead here, but still, I think both of them are it's anyone's game between the two of them for sure. There's still much to happen.
So yeah, again, you'll see sort of the general strategy for Barry's got a.
I think it'll be okay.
Here. He did get the.
That's enough to kill that.
Couldn't remember if that row did enough damage to by putting the split pea in that row, if that was enough. This is actually the only level where we deliberately take the split pea. The split pea does not get a lot of love, but again, we actually use almost every plant on some level or another. The cattail, for example, we use on really only one level. This is the only level that gets the split pea, for example. Only a couple of levels that get the ice shroom. But again, I think it goes to show that, again, the game was really well designed. They really did do a good job of sort of designing certain plants to be a counter to certain zombies. And that's why, again, a lot of times on stream, I've kind of described Plants vs. Zombies as having more in common with like a real-time strategy game than with like a tower defense game, just because, again, really it's all about sort of your economy management. It's all about sort of finding units to counter other units and sort of, constantly making those trade-offs of, do I plant more sun? Do I sort of, plant these zombies because I think I'm going to get this? No, I got this. Okay, I have to react to this. And so, again, a lot more, as we've said before, sort of about the decisions that the runners make as opposed to, RNG or anything that the level gives them.
Alrighty, and we can see again the whole game of the year, non-game of the year thing, and both are completely acceptable as well. Calvin versus Aaron, and all right, looks like Berry is moving very healthily through Pogo Party. Chaos still on Zombotany 2.
Yeah, Chaos is still catching up on Zombotany 2.
That looks like an annoying situation. I would not let that. Yeah, okay.
I mean, that squad could kill him if he.
Yeah, no, it
might
be happening.
Something
Did
in
Chaos
this way.
lose a gloom, or did Chaos not plant?
I hadn't been looking. It does look like, given the cooldowns, I would say he didn't plant a second.
Okay, so probably
so
fine. Ooh, almost
slightly better situation, but looks like the recovery here has been pretty good, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone
Calvin,
in chat
also,
have
as you can
any
see-
questions that we can help answer, sort of as we're coming upon the last couple levels here? Any mechanics we can help explain, or just general curiosities about the game?
One thing I will note is that Calvin does seem to be quite the fan of the codes, and the codes do actually come in useful at certain parts of the game because they can change the zombies' mechanics slightly, some of them. So the future one is the most commonly used because it changes the animation of the zombies so that garlic will be faster. All right, Barry's finishing up Pogo Party
Barry's
here.
in that last level now.
But yeah, Calvin also likes to use apparently the daisies and tricked out, and just if you just type out those phrases, then as we can see, it changes the game a little bit. But moving on to Zomboss, the final level here. So I had heard that PvZ3 was actually being set aside for a little while. Kuchari, I think that the game designers are sort of reevaluating what the game is going to look like. So I wonder what that'll end up taking shape. But as we can see, starting Zomboss here, Zomboss works in cycles. So you have basically two different phases of each cycle. You have the part where Zomboss places the zombies down, where there's basically nothing you can do. And then the part where Zomboss shows his face, and you try to deal as much damage as possible here. And there is a slight risk of a certain scenario known as, we can call it the hex cycle here. And so what this essentially means is Zomboss can take upwards of, I think, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes in some circumstances, just throwing buses, placing zombies, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so it occurs, I believe, if Zomboss is between 20 and 50% HP for 2 cycles in a row.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people in the Discord who have been drilling down like the exact thing behind it. I actually think it's not just 2 cycles, it's if after a bungee cycle. So I think Barry might have actually pushed into the first bungee cycle early, which means they'll have to push past 50 this time.
Yeah, there it is. Calvin and Aaron both moving to Pogo Party, right? Again, neck and neck. Let's hope that this works out for Barry. They do have quite a few melon pults here, which is definitely nice.
Definitely very generous. Again, Zomboss, the timing is very important with a lot of things too. Being able to time the ice cream correctly. Ooh, he's actually really at danger for the hex cycle here, just given how quickly.
Interesting.
Again, the amount of time between cycles is usually random with the exception of this hex cycle.
Just
so
not a whole lot of instance. Ooh.
Yeah.
oh man,
It is still a
Well,
chance.
here we
So
go.
it's possible that he'll be able
Okay,
to.
getting some ice
find-
shrooms. Getting some ice shrooms.
very nice timing with that ice shroom. Again, usually you want to freeze Zomboss sort of right after the previous ice shroom.
Not using the extra ice shroom. Well, we shall see what happens.
Yeah, so he is that danger for the hex cycle, which again, we've had runners where
Oh,
it's
bad bust
this
right
could
there.
be bad. Oh, this could be bad. Again, I don't think he's at risk of taking a death, but it could take anywhere from like an extra 3 to 7 minutes if he got the hex cycle.
And yeah,
What is
guards-
going on?
oh my goodness.
We've had some runners where the world record for this particular IL is about 5 minutes. We've had some runners where it's taken them 13 minutes to complete the level because of the hex cycle. So again, when we said that the runners weren't going to feel safe until Zomboss was done, this was basically exactly the reason. Oh boy, I have the worst feeling here. I just, it wouldn't be PVZ. It would be a PVZ something,
Hey, Diamond, there we go.
Oh no!
And the second bust, there it is.
Oh, that means he's in the hex cycle for sure. That's the marker of it. Oh no!
What a disaster! What an absolute disaster!
Okay, let's hope it's not. There's still a lot of variability in how bad it could be.
It's, but the fact that he didn't come down after the second bust that's not a great sign.
I think we've seen up to 5 buses before. Oh man. Breaks your heart, especially being on such a good pace.
I don't know if Calvin and Aaron have a chance to catch up unless Berry dies, which is possible.
If they bust again and it hits the remaining plants they
hits the bottom, yeah, that could be very bad.
And then, oh man,
yeah,
that was not very
oh my gosh.
Oh no. Oh. Yep. Yeah. Again,
but even then, Calvin and Aaron are still not that far.
Okay, he's coming down. So it's
it
over.
Wasn't a very bad. It wasn't a very bad.
Yeah.
Hex cycle here
that was a pretty bad hex cycle. Usually when I get hex cycles, I get like the second bust and then it goes right into at least him coming down. True. That was pretty rough, but I think that likely they'll still be fine overall.
Or Calvin Street.
Oh no! I hope Calvin didn't have another drop here. We might want to jump over to Aaron.
Yeah.
No, it was the rivalry was between Calvin and Aaron was so.
Oh no!
So good.
They were both so close to right. You can see that Calvin was just about to get his second
stream died. Okay, so it could potentially be okay for the race.
Yeah, it could be okay for the race. Yeah, if he can, manage.
Oh, Calvin said he also died to Pogo.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh.
No.
Okay, well, I think Berry's still going to be okay, even though this is definitely looking like a scarier situation than I think they had hoped.
I mean, if Calvin can get back up and running, he still has a chance, because Chaos is still, at least for racing against Chaos.
Interesting. Okay, well here come the Gargs, but Berry is getting quite a few instants, which is definitely useful.
Yeah, it does
bottom row
because as you use the roof cleaners, you'll notice that Berry has not gotten any zombies at all in the top 2 rows, and that's because Zomboss, quote unquote, takes pity on you and doesn't put zombies in those rows. But what it does mean is that the other 3 rows now are particularly more vulnerable because they're getting all of the zombies as opposed to the zombies getting a little bit more well distributed between all.
This is quite an unfortunate Zomboss here for Berry.
Yep. It could be a 5 cycle, including the health cycle. It's sort of hard to say.
It'll be interesting.
It'll depend on the number of instances. Depend on how many instances he gets in the next minute or so here.
Ooh, the ice ball.
Yeah.
Will they get a? Ooh. Luckily, it was in a good row, but oh no, looks like they're gonna lose that. No. And it also takes away your roof cleaner.
Takes away the roof cleaner too. So it's, man, if he gets, I was gonna say if you get 2 jalapenos, it might have been enough. But
are we gonna see a bust here?
Oh man, please! That bust. That could actually be GG.
Oh.
No, well.
Okay, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But it's
not pretty bad.
It could have been worse. That's, I guess, the only saving grace, right? But wow. And what an end.
Not giving a very good All right, not Calvin. Aaron finishes up Pogo Party here.
I hate to jinx
I think
it,
it'll
but
be okay. I still think Barry has this because if the bus were worse, then I think it might have been very bad. But I think that they have the instance.
Yeah, they do. They just got a third helping you too. I think they're probably fine.
Yeah, they're fine. Oh yeah, Brainiac Maniac coming in. Very bad. Haha. This is still
Chaos
a
is now into
nasty.
Pogo
This is
Party.
like one of the worst zombie bosses you can get.
Yep.
I don't know if
And
Calvin's
again,
coming
you'll
back or
notice
not.
because the third row lost the lawnmower due to the ice shroom, rather, or due to the ice.
Boom,
Okay, all right. As
time
Barry does.
approaching. Time
Nice job.
approaching.
Yeah,
here.
should get the sub 141. Again, still an excellent time, but yeah, you have to sort of wonder what it would have looked like without that. Without
Barry made it out.
unbelievable, finished, very nice. Well, great job to
Very
Barry.
nice.
And, excellent execution throughout the entire run. Yeah, again, just a little, couple little things I'm sure he wished went a little bit differently, but that was that was a really, really great job by him.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
that was a great run, and then the hex cycle, I think, just kind of pushed them over the
It
140
would
mark.
have been a
but
truly
otherwise,
excellent run without Zombuster. Well, hopefully Aaron will. It looks like Aaron avoided the bungees.
yeah, Aaron seems to avoid the
So-
early bungees.
I don't know. Yeah, Calvin's looking like the most. Chaos's strat here for Pogo Party is certainly interesting. I'm not sure why the squashes were so far back.
Yeah, maybe kind of
Perhaps
doing
to
some
build up
safety
more
strats.
sun. Yeah, safety strats, avoiding dying. Could be
Yep.
smart.
Just kind of thinking of the race setting, maybe. Yeah, usually, as we can see, the squashes are placed in that 8th column towards the right, but it is possible to place the squashes anywhere, and as long as you have the squash up in time, it will work against the pogo. Although, if you place the squash at the same time that the pogo is jumping over the flower pot, sometimes the squash likes to jump in the wrong direction and will actually miss the pogo.
Not that you speak from experience or anything.
Not that I speak from any experience at all. No. Heaven forbid. Yeah, but it's yeah. So again, you'll see here it'll be close for Chaos. I think he'll be okay. Yep. But yeah, if you're especially with that imitator squash that takes a little bit longer to arm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it looks like. I think it'll be okay. I think the split P
Let's
does
have a
enough damage
jalapeno
here.
and a squash as a backup.
Oh,
Okay.
that was the last P that would have
Oof.
killed
Saved. Yep.
I believe Aaron Zombot here is not looking too bad, to be completely
Yeah, looking
honest.
pretty good actually. Yep.
I don't know why I didn't try to use another instant there. Oh, because it wasn't. Okay, that makes sense because he still had more left in the cycle. So, yeah, Calvin's still looking.
You see it, unfortunately.
He seceded, or not seceded, or seeded. Sorry.
Ah man, yeah, we were certainly hoping against any technical issues from coming in the way of things. But again, glad he really got very close. It was coming down neck and neck between him and Aaron. We got the hype there, we got the excitement. So
Calvin, I messaged Calvin. He says that if his dinner comes back, he does want to come back in and finish the race. So I guess we'll have to see. It really sucks that it's it's as any runner would know. It's like it sucks. It's technical issues.
Yeah.
Like he also died on Pogo, but like just in general, like the technical issues are impacting him a little more, and that just seems rough.
Well, I wonder if he would have died in Pogo if there hadn't been technical issues.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes
Because
it's
often if you're dealing
right,
if you're dealing with technical issues, then it really does often take away from.
Very
some gardening
caring
to
for
celebrate the win.
Mother Nature here, growing his tree of wisdom down to 2,227 feet. Well, look at that. That's a lot of game time. That's a lot of hours devoted to the game to get a tree that tall. So, yeah. Oh man.
Aaron Zombox going relatively smoothly. I just heard it just exploded. It was fine.
I do like Chaos's safety precautions that he's taking here. I think it was, again, a good balance between trying to go fast but making sure he's not taking another death on this level, because Pogo Party, they put it at the end of the mini games for a reason. It's definitely a real challenge, and although we have a good strategy to deal with things, I remember it was one casually that it took me a long time to sort of figure out the right way to deal with it. I think I used tall nuts or magnets or something like that. There's sort of a few different ways you can take care of things, but it is these pogos are fast and really dangerous. So
looks like Aaron is nearing the very end of Zomboss. Just one more cycle to go, and we'll be totally fine, and then we will see Chaos finish this up here as well, hopefully. It seems like Calvin may finish off stream.
Okay. He's hoping that
First
his internet will
raid.
come back, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Hell Cycle. Well, yeah, okay, there it is. Out of Berry.
What
It's just
band?
so natural. No, hey, whoa. Come on, it's Halloween.
Halloween does not get
all is forgiven on Halloween.
Shut up.
Yeah, this race is pretty cursed.
And we saw a death out of Aaron, Calvin, and
Oh, Aaron's finishing up.
Yep. Yeah,
second with a death on Zombie Nimble. GG though.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, yeah, lost several minutes there, and he, if I remember, his slot machine, it took a little while for
Calvin's back. Ooh.
Oh, is Calvin back?
Ooh. Oh no, that was I thought I could. It must be Chaoskiller's music. I thought I heard Calvin's non-boss music. Let's see here.
Let's see. Still not seeing him pop back up, but maybe. Yeah, we're over to Chaos right now. He's finishing up his last level as well right now. He's starting Zomboss. So we'll see how he does.
Looking like some good melons.
Oh,
there we are. Boom. All right.
Calvin's back, and he's a
Calvin's
little
back,
further
right?
ahead, so I'm gonna jump over to him.
All right.
Very nicely done.
Oh.
No, yeah, this is especially bad. Usually, I'd say it is unlikely to. It is very unlikely to see 3 runners die. And then, not to mention the number of internet issues, like we saw Aaron and Calvin both experiencing lots of that, and having to restart levels because of it. So
yeah, Calvin had that crash as well.
Exactly, the crash that essentially never happens. I don't know what happened there. It might have been a different program.
I kind of wonder if it was all the codes that he was using. Like,
yeah,
he was striking out his lawnmowers and everything.
Yeah, who knows? So again, I think we can probably chalk it up to, Halloween and full moon and everything. The game decided to. I don't know what the game decided to do here, but this is certainly the most interesting race I've ever seen the community do.
Yep. I can't say that this race did not meet my expectations. I was expecting it to be a little less chaotic for whatever reason, but I think that's just
it exceeded.
You underestimated the minigame.
Right? Yeah. It's you're not thinking about mini games if you think that things are going to go smoothly. Ooh, Chaos didn't quite get the ice stream in time. I'm going to use it to save his last little bit there. I might be a little bit behind here. I have to refresh, but all right.
Yeah. It looks like I do think Calvin is still a decent bit ahead here. Unfortunately, we can't see the times anymore because both runners with timers did finish.
Yeah, I know Aaron ended up finishing at like a 146-ish, so I think these are going to be like 150 times, unfortunately.
And Chaos might
really
be keeping track of his time off stream, or separately from his stream display. So
exactly, yeah. All right, yeah, Calvin's not going to get this cycle. Unfortunate. Still a good distance to go, but next cycle definitely. Ooh, that is not a good
bus right there in the corner.
Oh, so gross.
Are we doing interviews? Hope.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot to say. I think there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, or yeah, perhaps Aaron or Barry, if you wanted to hop in, give us some thoughts. Definitely, feel free.
If you don't want to, that's okay too. I understand.
Also acceptable.
After a long race, sometimes you just want to sit back and chill. So no pressure at all. But yeah, certainly if any of the runners, after they're done, would like to, hop into the Discord here, we'd certainly welcome to, welcome your thoughts and opinions on all of the wonderful events of this round.
Ooh, yeah. Speed Gaming doing any percent for PVZ2. Now that sounds like something Warmick would probably be interested in.
Speed gaming, folks, huh? We might need to make a date here. This is great. No, again, I mean, obviously, as we're finishing up here, thank you so much to the Speed Gaming,
of course,
for hosting us. You've hosted a couple events before, but this 4-way race, took a little bit more coordination and things like that. So we really do appreciate, again, kind of our we take a lot of pride in our game, and I think like most communities, we think our speed game is really special and one of the best ones out there. But
Calvin's finishing up.
Calvin finishing up here. Yep, looking pretty good.
Looks like Chaos has one more cycle.
Another row of plants here as well. But again, definitely a special thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting us and for helping coordinate on a Saturday. Things like that. We really do appreciate it.
I wonder if we can get Calvin here potentially.
Do we want to wait for Chaos to finish up and then start interviews?
I think that might make sense. Just to kind of
perhaps
just kind of.
Is Chaos gonna get another extra cycle on top of this one? Just does not have a whole lot of instance
or the power,
Yeah.
It's looking a little scary here. Again, he hasn't used any lawnmowers. We're certainly not worried about a death here. Maybe if he gets another ice cream and maybe 2 jalapenos, he might
one more.
I do like the tribute to sort of some retro gaming,
that was a good boss.
To explode and blink a little bit, like sort of the classic arcade bosses and things like that. A nice little tribute that they threw in there to those of us that grew up in 90s arcades and things like that. Oh, man.
Oh.
Speed Gaming 2,
coming in with the very end of welcome. Interesting time here.
Yep.
We're finishing up with our last racer over here. We're gonna do some interviews because this was a pretty chaotic run.
Oh yeah.
All right, just come down any minute now, Zomboss.
You can see he's sitting there with 4
I don't know if I would have used that jalapeno that way.
On Zomboss.
Did a little bit of an early jalapeno there as well. Zomboss does have iframes for a brief period at the very beginning, but I think that it'll be.
Yeah, I think he should be okay. Well, he's being a little aggressive with those ice shrooms, unfortunately.
GG.
And
officially time for the very last racer. Yeah, GG everybody. I mean, what an event, we it felt like we had a little bit of everything. We had good RNG, we had bad RNG, we had a death. There were a couple deaths actually. We had technical issues. we had a hex cycle. Truly just about everything that Minigames had to offer, both good and bad, I think happened to one runner, to one runner or another at some point.
I would disagree saying that it was a bad race, Aaron. I think that was perhaps one of the most interesting races I've actually ever seen. I think that this one will be a very historic race, in fact, because I think that despite the technical difficulties, I think that things worked out very well nonetheless.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, GG's all around. Definitely.
GG's all around. Yeah, again, everyone really made the most. Sort of was able to kind of keep calm, keep their composure. During again not only a race setting, but again technical issues and deaths. I know sometimes that sort of that has a sort of a mental toll on some racers, but it's it's quite the thing. So yeah, if any of you would like to hop on for some interviews, we'll we welcome you. But again, we totally understand if you're sort of feeling a little worn out, sort of after the race. We totally understand. You can just hop into the live on-air, commentary section here.
And if not, of course, also acceptable.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot to, I guess, to ask about, because I can only imagine being in a lot of those positions as a runner, and like how
Absolutely.
I would feel. I would be like, yikes.
Yeah, that's PVZ Minigames. Again, we had to make a couple of adjustments. The runners playing the levels in order as opposed to playing them in any order like they might do in a sort of PB type of setting. But again, you can see that, again, ranging from Bejeweled to pure RNG to some skill to reacting to different waves. There really is just so much to so many different skills required to really excel at this category. So again, one reason I really think we've seen as much love as we have. But but that's great.
Ooh, sounds like Chaos might be.
We might have Chaos here for an interview. Yeah, if you want to hop right in, Chaos, you can jump right into the live on air thing that you have here. But we totally understand for those of you who feel a little tired or worn out after the race. It was quite something.
Welcome.
Hello, Chaos. You're currently muted, but hello, welcome in.
Yeah, welcome in. Yeah, congratulations on finishing the race. Playing great and being able to overcome some adversity there. And you are muted at the moment, just so you are aware.
Mike isn't having it.
Mike isn't having it. No, not more technical issues.
It wouldn't be this race without another technical issue. Maybe we should just wrap it up. Before it spreads. Maybe my internet's gonna go out. All of a sudden. But
very good. Yeah, well, again, many thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting this, coordinating it, setting up. JC, Fiesel, Restream, who helped us out this morning.
JJ's internet is dying.
Thank you all very much again for a Saturday morning. I know some of you are out on the West Coast, or other ways around the world. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we all right. We finally have it. Well, welcome, Chaos Killer. Welcome. Congratulations on finishing the race. What are some of your initial thoughts? How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm pretty excited about this race. It was quite the roller coaster of a run. I didn't expect all these issues and these deaths and all this crazy RNG over the entire thing.
It's definitely something that's sort of very different from when you're just streaming yourself and you can reset, right? You get bad RNG on one level, a death here. There's no reset. The race continues on. But again, I really thought you did a great job, kind of overcoming some of the adversity. Overcoming the deaths and things like that to kind of finish things out strong. What would you say were, in your opinion, some of the highlights and lowlights for you in terms of the levels that you think you played well versus others that kind of fell through?
For some of the highlights, I think I played some of the later levels quite well, despite some of the RNG that was given to me. But the lowlights were definitely Slot Machine, which was RNG hell, or heck, if I might say, and Portal. Honestly, I could have maybe prevented if I did not die internally for a second and not forget about the walnut that I could have placed. But that really screwed me over.
Yeah, we saw that happen live, and again, it's a tough decision. It's like, all right, do you choose to let that wave go and use the lawnmower, but then you may not have the safety or the backup or things like that, and you got horrible portal placements there for sure. So it really sort of tested that level definitely tested you in terms of things that don't necessarily go well.
Another thing that went pretty badly in Portal, at least in the first run, is that the game gave me more pea shooters than there is pea shooter merch in existence.
Yep. Yeah. Again, yeah. There's definitely definitely some of that. You can run out of space on some of the levels, or you're just hoping for anything else other than what you have. But you get those like low probability events that come at you, and there you go. This was really something. So yeah, do you feel like a race like this kind of motivates you to improve your time even more? Or do you feel like you're going to need like a little break from the category? You want to try any percent, or get back into puzzles or something like that? What do you think are some of your next steps in terms of your PvZ goals for speedrunning?
I think I'm going to be pushing for the sub 140 mini games, maybe throwing in some puzzles for at least to bulk the sub 12 bring.
Yeah, I think that's very good. I know for me sometimes, like, again, after a PB or after a race or after some sort of thing, like you feel like you need a little breather from a particular category. But again, I think it's good continuing that sub 140 goal again is definitely kind of a badge of honor that we have here in the all mini games community. Although again, really, any completed time and anything like that, I think is excellent. You've made a lot of improvements, I know, as a runner, just within the last month or so, sort of preparing for this race. So, thank you so much for racing today, for jumping in and doing that. It looks like Chaoskiller's mic might have died, but yeah, feel free. Again, if you're interested in watching him improve, Chaoskiller05 here on Twitch. Again, great. Great streamer and runner and things like that. And we also have a PvZ speedrunning Discord. Again, not to self-promote, but again, if you're interested in any of that, check out sort of some of the resources, tools, things like that we have on the speedrun.com channel. Again, I feel like in some ways we only get to scratch the surface, even though we had a lot of really exciting things to talk about today, not just with mini games itself, but PvZ in general. I don't know if you had any closing thoughts, Super or Alexame, if you
I think we should definitely probably wrap things up, but of course, thank you to Speed Gaming, thank you to all the runners, Aaron, Chaos, Calvin, and Barry. Make sure to check them all out. And yeah, I guess thanks everyone for watching as well. Always appreciate it.
Yep, just echoing that same thing. Thank you, Speed Gaming. Thank you to everyone for running. Thank you to Super and Warmuck for co-commentating. And thank you for chat for hanging out and being here. It was a crazy time, but I don't think anyone expected anything really less for mini games. So
very true.
Definitely good. All right, so are we wrapping up?
Wrapping it up. Yeah, again, thanks again, everyone, and take care. Have a nice Halloween, and we'll catch you all sometime soon, hopefully for another event or PvZ event coming up sometime in the future.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy
Take
Halloween.
care.